Excellency, actually, this community does not deserve this food. Because of me, and the peace I did to you.
Oh my God, I couldn't just hold my, sorry please, I couldn't hold my laughter, and I'm sure you're also laughing at home. I think this is a tears of thank you, Governor Osamor Wike, for, in fact, the song, the background song was actually, thank you, I say thank you, Governor Osamor Wike, for saving my life. Well, let's also remember River State. Yeah, the governor of River State, that same Tuesday during the commissioning, spoke on why he feels that karma is back in the PDP. He reflected on what happened against former President Goodluck Jonathan when the G5 governors left the party to join the APC and they defeated former President Goodluck Jonathan there. And he's saying, what do you not tell me? Let's listen to Wike.
I don't understand how people who made us to do the election in 2015 and now the same people defending the party. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? After you made us to lose the election, we are now in opposition. You are now saying that you are the one who is defending the party. In 2015, when Jonathan, as a sitting president, when he had won his primary, people forget history. Jonathan went to London in the Chester Hotel. He went to plead with this presidential candidate today, Atiku. Say, please, my brother, come back to the party and support me. In that position again to Jonathan, he should relinquish his ticket not to run as the president of Nigeria. That was a sitting president and the presidential candidate as a ruling party. So when I see some people running around talking rubbish, they forget history easily. So that this is the way as it is now. If you go further, is it kind of laugh or nothing? Is it a proper laugh? Is it a proper laugh? Tell them to November.
So much for remaining with us. You seen the drama. I told you that if you want the best of soap opera catch-ups, you can go to River State, because that's what it happens. Every day you must surely get a drama, a piece of drama. And filmmakers are already sitting down, putting them together to have something to do. And luckily enough, we even have one of the filmmakers in the house who happens to be the media consultant to the PDP presidential candidates. Talking about Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki. He's here with us in the studio. Dr. Obaseki, thank you for coming. Why are you still laughing?
Before you started the ask question.
No.
I did laugh over Chidi Lloyd. You know, Chidi Lloyd, I used to be the president of Nollywood. I used to be the president of the Film Corporation of Nigeria. And in fact, he would have done better than any of the characters I use in Igodo. And I want to take Nigerians back memory lane quickly. Chidi Lloyd is a perpetual crier in the House of Assembly of River State. In 2007, this same Chidi Lloyd got up in the House of Assembly the day Celestino Mejia was being sworn in as governor of River State. And his cry was, he was crying that he wished it was Amici. I wonder what they are also giving him now.
No, you don't say that.
I wonder what has, you know, everything in acting, we call it action and reaction. So I wonder what the action was before this crying reaction. He's a perpetual crier. It's okay. And the only thing now is he had gotten the chance, instead of doing it within the cubicle of the House of Assembly, which he did it in 2007, he did it now on national television with Facebook and social media available to help spread it. That wasn't available.
But you listen to what he said.
Yes.
He said he was far off in school as a student.
He was far?
Outside Nigeria in school as a student.
Yes.
Osamor Wike called him during the pandemic.
Yes.
He had to put a call to the governor of River State.
Yes.
And then he had to plead with the governor, whatever I have done, forgive me.
Yes.
Because he was asking the governor to do something for them. And he was out there when the governor commissioned that same road in his community.
Yes.
And remember, he's a local government chairman.
Yes.
So,
what I mean is, we were talking about the drama and the attendant inbox. You see, the Nigerian political landscape is a flip-flopping landscape, and nobody can take anybody too seriously based on being seemingly repentant. I'm just saying that this is display of weeping repentance is not new to him, and within the confines of what has happened. I agree. Every governor should wake up and do the right thing for their people. Because when you are governor of a state, you are not governor of the PDP members of the state. You are not governor of the APC members of the state if you are an APC governor. You are the governor of everybody in the state, whether they voted for you or they did not vote for you. The contestation is gone, and governance is only by everybody. not about party affiliation or sectional or sectorial, which is the major problem we have today within the Nigerian polity.
Let's quickly go straight to issues. You know, when Wike spoke yesterday, reminding Nigerians of what happened to former President Goodluck Jonathan, when 5 governors left the PDP and vowed that former president will not win the election, and he actually lost the election.
Yes.
So it's like history is repeating itself at this moment, because why that happened yesterday, there was let's just look at the implication of what he said.
Yes,
yes.
You see, on a spiritual level, people will say, history repeats itself. I also would like to say what my people say in Benin: lightning doesn't strike twice at the same point twice. I think that the entire matrix that is playing out now is totally different and opposed to what took place in 2015. That's true. Now today, Wike, yesterday in his speech, Wike actually liberated himself from what he had been pounding along all along. What we thought Wike was fighting for, or those who follow Wike thought Wike was fighting for, was the collective aspirations of Southerners within the party wanting Ayu to step down. But he had declared now, in his own words, that is actually premised. You know, they say witch cried last night, baby died this morning. Now we are now knowing that there was a witch that cried last night. And the thing is, it appears that Wike's fight is premised basically on the fact that he is on a vengeance mission. He's on a retribution mission. The man in question, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, is no longer president. He has even stepped higher now to become a statesman for the entire African continent. And the man has not, the man had forgiven people. People have moved on. The 2015 happened before, the 2019 happened before 2015. The answer is no. In 2019, one of those who carried this same ticket on their heads was Ijeoma Wike. He did not remind anybody of the fact that 4 years prior to that, that Atiku had not backed Goodluck Jonathan. So I'm wondering why he's rewinding beyond the, it's like having a computer that you are putting on reset and you are going to go back 8 years when you were the one who set the motion what we're having. So I feel, when I heard him speak yesterday, I actually just shook my head. And I just said, oh, the scales are beginning to fall away from the entire fight. Now, let's look at it this way. I have restrained myself for the past few months from saying something like this. Now, Wike plotted a graph, an end-to-end graph on his journey to presidency. And that started with the Kurumadu report of the 2018 amendment of the PDP constitution. He said, I'm not very emotional. I'm just trying the Nigerians to have the facts. And in doing that, he ensured that a man from his own senatorial district became the national chairman of the party, Uche Secondos, and it was inserted in that same constitution, so that he will have the right to change Uche Secondos. That if at any time, any member of the party who is in the National Working Committee is meant to leave office, either by resignation, forced out, sacked, retreat, without going through a national convention, that person must be replaced by a serving officer of the National Working Committee who is from the same zone. Now, fast forward a few months later, after that thing was set in motion, the APC, not the PDP now, also had a mini convention where they plotted the removal of Chief John Odigwe Oyegu, and they inserted that proviso in their own constitution as they brought in Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. That was why on June 12th, ironically that was the day, June 12, 2020, when the appeal court sacked Mr. Adams Oshiomhole, the vice chairman, the deputy chairman, or whatever who was ever of Oshiomhole could not replace him. He had to be replaced.
Talking about APC.
Of the APC, yes. I'm telling you.
I thought we were on the issue of PDP.
No, I said the PDP did just earlier and adopted the Kurumadu report,
okay,
which had a proviso inserted by the communique and contribution made by the River State Council, River State Executive, which was adopted. Now, the APC now borrowed it a few months later and also inserted that proviso in their own constitution. So that is why I'm not saying that was why when Oshiomhole was removed, the deputy it met the needed political needs at that time.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, that very proviso is what is affecting Wike now. That's why Wike is no longer talking about the spirit or the letter of the law. That's why he's no longer talking about the legality or the constitutionality of telling you to step down to be replaced by a southerner. Because the constitution does not allow that to happen.
But to go back to what Wike is saying.
Yes.
At least before you get to the chapter of your constitution.
Yes.
that said no, the man cannot be changed except somebody from the same region.
Yes.
There is also what Wike is saying in section 7, subsection 3 of your constitution,
yes,
where he said that the zoning shall be by equity, fairness, and justice. So if the integrity group people who call themselves integrity,
yes,
because what he is saying is that fine, this is what your constitution said, but did you obey the constitution? Why taking a decision to not allow the entire process to be thrown over?
Thank you. I wish I could stand up to talk this one.
You can do anything you want
I'm about to shut. Now let me explain this seriously to Nigerians. Pedro, I was caught in the paucity of history when the southern governors were going to hold the summit in Asaba on the south being the preferred zone. I did 2 skits. AIT was even playing it again and again and again on the arithmetics of zoning. Now that arithmetics of zoning, it was very, very clear that it wasn't meant to be zoned to the south if it was the PDP, because the PDP had done 16 years in power, and that 16 years in power, the Southerners have been in power for almost 14 years, apart from the Yaradua 2.5 years. That was clear. Now, in that same party arrangement, the presentations that were made to the zoning committee, led by who? Led by Samuel Otom, the governor of Benue State. It is Samuel Otom, the executive governor of Benue State, knowing that from my analysis, the person that will be disqualified, even if it is zoned to the south, is anybody from the southwest who produced 8 years of presidency under Obasanjo, and the south who produced 6 years under the presidency of Goodluck Jonathan. So the only way that could have been zoned to in the south was the southeast. In the north, all the presidencies, and we've had so far, whether it's Buhari, whether it's Yaradua, or whether it's all the military governor presidents, whether it is, we're all northwest and north central. The only place in the north that it had never been given presidential treatment or access since 1966, 15th of January 1966, after the death of Alhaji Tafawa Balewa, was the northeast, and in the southeast after the death of Aguiyi Ironsi in July 1966. But the man who had a card to play, that's why I say he had plotted it, was Governor Nyesom Wike, whose best friend and best man and journeyman, Mr. Samuel Otom, was the chairman who declared the primaries open. It wasn't declared open by you.
But it wasn't his personal decision.
No, let's say
it was a collective decision.
You are not there. Why are you?
No, I'm just telling you this. Being the chairman, he cannot on his own take the decision because he's the chairman.
No, Ijeoma, let me see. What I don't want us to do is to presume and assume, to probate and reprobate and appropriate. The thing is clear. We are pursuing the chairman. Wike is pursuing the chairman of the PDP, Mr. Dr. Yocha Ayu. That is the person he's after. That is cool. But unfortunately, if that man is removed, which I think is also fair to do once the candidate wins.
So what you're saying now is that the integrity group should hold on until after the election.
That is the practice of the party.
But what about the chances of your candidates? Aren't you looking at the election?
Let me ask you this one now. You see, what I think is the way to go, and I think that way has been exploited by as much as possible. Look at all the headlines today. Goodluck Jonathan is coming into the other time, General Babangida. But the only person who keeps having this seemingly intransigence is Governor Nyesom Wike. All this one you are quoting. You are not quoting what Atiku has said. You are not quoting Atiku rain insults on anybody, because the man understands the presidential nature of what he's holding. But it seems as if Governor Nyesom Wike is not sitting properly in the gubernatorial requirements of the office he holds. He talks sometimes
let's be practical
someone who's having some verbal diarrhea.
Dr. Pedro, let's be practical here.
Yes.
You're going into election.
Yes.
5 governors gone.
Yes.
They're not just alone. They're coming with their...
No, you see, and you know the
crowds that governors carry.
My problem is this. Don't be offended. People are begging this same man. They've been begging him since after the primaries he lost. They've been begging him.
But they say they are open for reconciliation.
Okay, that's what they said. See, that's what I'm saying. You are hearing the voice of Jacob and the hands of Esau. The man tells you one thing this morning. He told us on Sunday. Jonah Jang read out a communique on Sunday.
But they are open to negotiation.
Nobody has insulted them thus far. And then on Tuesday, 48 hours later, he goes on air again and fires another set of salvos that triggers again the entire... So it's like talking to Governor Nyesom Wike. It's like everybody is sitting on the keg of gunpowder or sitting on a volcano ready to erupt at a moment's prodding. What I am saying
is doing about this, because our time is already gone.
The party, everybody who is in the party, you said this morning's papers, we have gone to the extent of coming with persons who we think have enough verve to talk to him.
Talk to the issues.
To not just only the issues, to talk to him. Because whether we like it or not, you cannot now play 10 sound bites of Umahi. You cannot play 3 sound bites of Victor Okezekbazu. You cannot. All the sound bites are coming from Wike and then coming from Otto. What I'm saying is, when Wike keeps talking of this zoning, the man who declared the zoning open, he should take responsibility.
All right, Dr. Pedro.
And that man is Samuel Otto. That is a fact. And what Mr. Wike has just done is to tell everybody today that, oh, forget all those my abracadabra. The real reason is I beef this man. And that's what
Dr. Pedro, see, we can't go ahead, but we still have more days before the election to still talk on what may likely happen to the PDP ahead of the 2023 election. Thank you so much. We'll be speaking with the media consultant to Atiku Abubakar, the PDP presidential candidate, Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Ijeoma.
Yes.